Welcome back to Better Than Before. One of the challenges that businesses face in growth is limited capital. And the thing you learn very, very fast is that if your business is growing, if it's in high growth mode, it's in high cash burn mode. You need cash to grow your business. And the more growth you're trying to invent or trying to get going, the more cash reserves you're going to need. And the need to have enough operating capital as well as investment capital changes based on what stage of growth you're in and what your long-term vision for growth is. Limited capital to grow is going to be an issue for you regardless whether your company delivers a product, whether or not you deliver a service. Taking the time in the early stages of the company to get a handle on those resources that you're going to need to grow is very critical. And keeping an eye on those cash reserves as your company grows. If you're a mature company, you always need to know where you are on your capital. And too often, the mentality that comes across is, well, I'll just work harder. But too many business leaders get too short-sighted when it comes to evaluating the amount of cash that they're going to need to get the company off to a solid start or perhaps to keep it viable as it goes forward. As a challenge, having limited capital to grow can negatively impact growth all along the way, not just in terms of reaching specific indicator targets such as number of clients or number of customers or revenue or volumes or profits, but in the long-term view that takes the company beyond this immediate vision that you have in the short term. For instance, if a company is working with a product that's time sensitive to the marketplace, a lack of capital can hinder it from day one. Maybe you're a startup business and you're looking for outside investment capital. We've talked about this in previous episodes. You as the CEO are going to need help creating that solid business plan that you can use to explain to investors what your needs are going to be, because they're going to want to know. There's so many different types of business plans and so much that goes into a business plan that's designed to help raise outside investment capital. And that's far different in content than an operational business plan. And if you go back to our episode where I interviewed Andy Lyons, she talks a lot about startups and how she helps them, right? CEOs should not attempt to create an investment business plan by yourself. It needs to be a team effort. Maybe you want to get your ABC team on it. What's your ABC team? Your attorney, banker, your CPA. That's your ABC team. Or maybe the team of people that you have working with you on your exec team or in your small group of employees. Or, if you're a larger company CEO, that's going to fall to the CFO and his team, right? But whatever it is, you're going to have to utilize the expertise that you need to get you through the critical process. The money spent on the front end more than pays for itself on the back end. If the CEO is not going after outside investment money, then the options become somewhat challenging, right? Being very clear about what's needed up front, if we're talking about a startup, what you need up front to start the business and then to be financially healthy until sales starts coming in the door is very critical. And there are all kinds of free resources and free websites that can help you outline a path for acquiring outside investment capital. And, we talked about, friends, family, and fools, in a previous episode too. Sometimes they're willing to lend you some startup money with a payback plan. But, there's bank loans. You just know that banks are risk averse. They become essentially your partner in the deal. No matter what your needs are, you're going to need something that's very well thought out and very well put together. Regardless of how you get your money, it's critical that you figure out in advance how you're going to then deploy that capital. You need to put together a solid profit plan, an annual budget, and to use these planning tools to hold you and your team accountable in terms of seeing a return on your efforts, return on your equity, return on your assets every single month. And if you do a good job running your business, then these kind of issues are going to be challenging, but not insurmountable. So what are some questions you want to ask yourself? Have you identified your capital needs, right? So do you know what you're going to need as far as cash to do what you need to do? So you need to have a solid, realistic view of your company and what you want your company to be and what stage of growth you want it to be in and what that stage looks like. You need a budget and profit plan. You need to have an investment and capital deployment plan, what you're going to spend that money on. And you also need to look at, where are my cash sources going to come from? Is it going to come from outside capital, from friends, family, fools, banks, investors? How's that going to work? Without cash, though, I can tell you right now, it's like blood to the body. It's like oxygen to the body. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. Understanding your financial needs in your business is possibly one of the top 3 jobs of every CEO. And by understanding the critical components that drive the ability of your company to be profitable, you're going to stay ahead of your financial challenges. If you don't understand it, you're going to be running in quicksand. Organic growth, or perhaps using investment capital, still requires a well thought out plan. What about marketing? How are you going to market your company? What are your capital deployment needs as far as marketing goes? What about the sales process? How are you going to get the sales process going? Do you need to hire salespeople? Do they need to be inside or outside sales? Those are all things that you're going to have to walk through very, very carefully. Simply driving a lot of revenue into a business is not a plan. Many companies have gone under with solid sales. How's that possible? It's possible, believe me. But by taking the time up front to identify all aspects of your business growth plan and outlining your key processes that we've discussed here, and your hiring plan and your capacity, a business leader can increase your chances of success by 10. You can 10x your chances of success by simply slowing down a little bit and putting a solid plan together.
Thank you for listening to Better Than Before with Tony Richards, a business leaders podcast powered by Clear Vision Development Group. For more resources from Tony, visit clearvisiondevelopment.com. Join us next time for another episode of Better Than Before with Tony Richards.